What's up, fellas? Mike with Tech BB. And today let's talk about paintball in high school, paintball in college. So a common question is, Mike, I want to start a paintball club in my high school. I want to start a paintball club in my college. What do I do? Okay, you got to put the brakes on here really quick. And you got to understand that paintball and academics do not mix whatsoever, okay? Let's think about it. Most high schools, it is illegal to possess a paintball gun, okay? Illegal, not against the high school rules, illegal, as in you will get arrested, okay? Now I know someone's going to put a comment up, well, I'm over in, in this little county over in Alabama, and I'm allowed to have paintball guns on campus, okay? Well, that's okay. 99% of high schools and colleges, it is illegal to possess a paintball gun, okay? So that's the first problem right there, okay? So if you bring a paintball gun on campus into any college campus or bring it on campus over at a high school, you risk getting in serious legal trouble, okay? Criminal trouble. And also, let's not overlook academic trouble as well, okay? So bringing a paintball gun on campus can cause you to get arrested, cause charges to be put up against you, and also you risk possibly being expelled, suspended from school, academic consequences and penalties as well. It's not worth it. Okay, let me say that again. It is not worth it. You do not want to jeopardize, your high school education or your college education for paintball. It's not worth it. Okay, so that's the first thing. So let's understand how serious this is. My wife's a teacher, okay? I talk to teachers. I talk to principals. I meet with administrators all the time at Christmas parties and stuff like that. I talk to these people all the time. I know, educators. So they are not interested in hearing about paintball. They don't understand it. What they do know about it, they don't like it. My wife isn't even allowed, one time she even got in trouble because she was wearing a dye emblem or a dye around her neck with her ID on it. They said, "What does DYE stand for?" She said it was a paintball company, and they told her it wasn't allowed. So she's not even allowed to have a lanyard around her neck. Can you imagine what it'd be like to bring a paintball gun on campus? Do not do it. With that being said, let's approach it at the high school level. Now that we've talked about that it is illegal to possess a paintball gun on campus, and it also is illegal. It also can ruin your academic career if you bring a paintball gun on campus. Talk about it at the high school level. First off, in the high school level, let's start this by saying you don't need the administrator's permission. You don't need their approval. They don't even have to know about it for you to have a club at the high school level. All you need is a couple of your friends to go out and just play paintball on a regular basis from your high school, and you've got your club. Okay, you're not going to get any money from them. So if you think that by you going to the principal and saying, we've got this club, you're not going to get any money from them. Okay, so what's the point in even telling them? Here's what is going to happen, and I can promise you this has happened to people before. You go to your principal and you say, you know what? I want to start a paintball club here at the high school. Your principal looks at you and tells you you're crazy and tells you to get out of his office or her office, okay? The next day, somebody who doesn't go to your high school, probably doesn't even live in your zip code, buys a paintball gun at a local store, Walmart or whatever, and strafes the front of the high school. Guess who is now in serious trouble? You are. You are in trouble. Why? You're the one that went to the principal and asked him to start a paintball club, and he said no, and the next day somebody shot up the front of the high school with a paintball gun. You are now in serious trouble. You better have one hell of an alibi, possibly an attorney, because you're going to be brought in for questioning from the police and from the administrator. You will be in more trouble than you've ever wanted to be in your entire life. Do not go to administration at the high school level, okay? College level. At the college level, it is slightly different because, there are clubs that are at the college. You got rowing clubs, you got rugby clubs, you got tennis clubs, you've got archery clubs. There's a million different clubs that get funding from the student administration. It's a nightmare, and it is going to take you a little while. The first thing I can tell you is don't go there just you, okay? And I can also say this, if someone's going to be a big enough knucklehead to actually pull one off at the high school level, here's what I would tell you to do. Organize it off the radar, okay? You don't need your principal's permission in the high school level if you wanted to start, and I don't recommend you do this at the high school level, but I know someone's going to really, truly want to do it. So if you want to do it, this is the way to do it. First off, get it established, okay? Get 5 or 6 of your guy or girlfriends that like to play paintball, and start playing on a regular basis. Start sporting your school colors. Maybe buy long sleeve shirts like this one here from Exalt, okay? And then take them to a local screen press and have your high school put down, put down on the shoulders or something like that, okay? Maybe start buying paintball guns that have the high school colors on them or something like that, and start playing. After maybe a year of you guys doing that, get some good publicity, get some good pictures, hire a photographer, then maybe you can bring it to the principal and say, look, we've had this for almost a year. There's been no safety problems. There's been no vandalism. There's been no issues whatsoever with irresponsibility. And, here's the pictures. We've been playing in tournaments. We've been playing in scenario games, yada, yada, yada. Is it possible for us to be recognized as a club? If you do this any less than having your club up and running with organization for at least a year, you're going to be laughed out the door. The college level is going to be no different, okay? You need to, start finding a couple of your friends that go to the same college as you do to start sporting the college colors, start getting guns that all match the same, start getting goggles that look the same, maybe call companies like KM Straps, have them design one for you, and this, that, and the other, a strap with your school colors on it and stuff like that. Now, some people are going to be like, what about trademark? What about copyright? What about da-da-da-da-da? I always say it's easier to, beg for forgiveness than ask for permission. So if they slap you on the wrist for it, then just throw them in the trash. But for the most part, they're not really going to sue you for, copyright infringement trade. They're just going to tell you to stop. So, you just tell them, look, I'm pro my school, whatever. I'm gung-ho. I'm all in the school spirit, and I wanted my school, my school name on everything. But it's a nightmare. Even at the college level, you're not going to be driving a Ferrari once you get the club off the ground. You may be lucky to get $300, maybe $500, maybe $1,000 per semester to divide out between everybody that's in your paintball club to use for paintball equipment and stuff like that. But my first guess, and from somebody who was evicted from living on campus over at USF for having a paintball gun in the dorm, even though it wasn't loaded, they couldn't even find my tanks because I didn't have them. I had them in my car at the time. They went in and did a dorm search. They found my paintball gun and they kicked me out. I mean, there was a bunch of other things they kicked me out for, but one of the biggest things was because I possessed a paintball gun and they kicked me out of the beta dorm, which kind of sucked. I had to go move across to Fontana. But I'll end this video by saying, step 1. Do not contact anybody. Do not contact your school administration. Do not try to get them involved, this, that, and the other, okay? You risk getting yourself into serious trouble. Something that may also happen. What if you didn't even know that there was vandalism that occurred at your school, and you walk into the front door and say, hey, I'm interested in starting a paintball club here at the school, and they say, well, what do you know about, 6 months ago, somebody shooting up the front of the school, okay? There's high schools out there with thousands and thousands of people that are disgruntled about having to go to high school. I'm sure that most high schools probably get peppered by paintballs at least once a year. If you walk into the front door, they're going to question you on it. So don't even do it. You don't need their permission. They're not going to give you any money. It's going to be basically you're walking into a trap. Don't do it. Do not approach your high school. Do not approach your high school. Your principals, the administrators, this, that, and the other, and ask them to be recognized as a paintball club. They're going to tell you to go pound sand. So, the college level, it's a little bit different. Still, even at the college level, paintball guns are not allowed on campus. Now, I know there is a college somewhere that may allow it. Most colleges do not. Something you also got to remember, too, is that if you get in trouble for possessing a paintball gun on campus, you're going to have to explain that for the rest of your life. 10 years from now, when you're married and you've got kids like I do, you're going to have to go into a job interview and they're going to ask you, well, I see here that that you were arrested for misdemeanor weapons charge over at your college and you had to face disciplinary actions. And you're like, yeah, I decided to bring a paintball gun on campus and I was showing it off and that's why I caused a 5-alarm scare. Okay, I didn't get arrested for it. They just told me you have to go live somewhere else. In these day and age, after 9/11 and this, that, and the other, I mean, I get text messages on my cell phone all the time. Well, you know what? You got to be careful. Avoid the west side of campus. There's somebody out there with a machete. Oh, never mind. It was just an umbrella. Okay, so you can imagine if they actually get a paintball gun. You're going to have helicopters. You're going to have news crews there. You're going to be in the local newspaper. Don't do it. So that's what I can tell you to do. If you want a club, just talk to people that go to your school that play paintball, or that you meet at the local field, and say, hey, you know what, let's start playing as a club. Done. You just started a club. Don't need their permission, okay? People do it all the time. It's not a big deal. So, rule number 1, don't approach administrators. Number 2, don't bring your paintball guns on campus. You're going to be in serious trouble with a high school or college. And from there, if you really want to support your school on the paintball field, just start getting goggles that are your school colors. Call Planet Eclipse. Get, Planet Eclipse, Dye. Some of these other companies do custom gun anodizing for small runs and stuff like that. And have them anodize a whole line of guns with your school colors and stuff like that. Maybe after a year or 2 of you doing that, it might catch on, but most likely by the time people take notice, you would have already graduated. Thanks for tuning in.